What is up, legends? We are back and we are going to be preparing you to take on Inferno. Now, I want to preference or prerequisite this a little bit to let you guys know how this actually works. Because again, a lot of stuff has been getting lost in translation, and everybody thinks that they need like Shadow Sonya and Lily just to do everything, and that's not the case. In fact, when we were all in beta, all of us who were testers, we didn't use Shadow Sonya and Lily. There were ways to beat content without that. But beforehand, we have to go back to the basics, and I think that's where a lot of people are getting messed up with, because they're not actually sticking to the basics of the way that this game works. This game has a progression that works with it, and right off the bat, one of the things that you should know is the reason why I put the emphasis on the army of 5 so much is because in most cases you don't need a whole bunch of 6 stars. I have 6 stars for the characters I use for carrying right now. I don't know if I'm gonna make another one. I think I'm on the way to actually being able to make another one, but I don't think it's really that necessary. You just need 5 stars. You need them built, and you need to actually be able to counter content. So if it's red, green, or blue, you need to be able to do that, and then you can bring in the wild cards to the light and dark unit. With that said, head over and we're gonna start looking at a few things. So go to module drop. You see, I'm on Inferno right now. Obviously, I haven't beat it because I actually don't have Lily to cheese it, but I don't want to. And the reason why I don't want to is I want to actually show beating it without her, because that's what I did in beta. Now the hard thing for me is I also don't have the other character that I used to beat it in beta, and that's Veronica. Veronica makes Terramaton actually really easy to deal with. And just a reference, when you look at characters and you look at teams like this, majority, if not all, these people are manualing this. So, and the core thing that you need in all this is Shadow Sonya, Vangus, and Lily. Everybody else, you literally could bitch and match anybody else in that spot. Well, maybe not Val. Probably the 5th slot with Holden is where you can actually kind of like be random and all that, because Val needs to save you. In majority of these fights, they're just blitzing to the point of like, just in character end, you notice that literally this is everything here right now. Like, it's literally that's the build. That's what people have come up with. That's not the only way to actually do this. And as I build myself up, I am going to show you the other way to do it, which will help the community out a lot. Basically, I'm just not going to do it this way on purpose, and I'm purposely taking it longer because I do have Shadow Sonya and I do have Vangus. You don't really need Lily. You can use Dorothy the Wisher in Lily's spot, and it would still work, which is still manual anyway. And a lot of people was like, well, damn, I gotta manual this all the time. And the only reason why this is happening is because this actually isn't the way that you're supposed to. Like, this is negating the fight right here. And that's why a lot of people is like, well, hell, what happens if I don't have those characters? And that is basically because we're just not fighting the fight the way that we are supposed to be fighting the fight. This is blitzing and taking advantage of that damage. Not that it's not a strat and that it's not viable, because it obviously works. But you won't be autoing with this. You just won't be. And again, not to say that that is a way that you actually need to do that. You need Heinrich or Veronica or the new green unit can actually bring you into that. And you can essentially use the Ting or anybody who's a nuke and Freya. The Ting, Freya, what's the other character? Klaus, Heinrich, and then maybe Val. And essentially what you're trying to do is you're trying to nuke down the middle and keep his immunity off. Basically, that's kind of like what you do and kind of how you screw over this fight. Essentially what Holden is doing right now in this group is he is basically stripping that immunity for the group. But you can do that a number of different ways. Like I just gave you the ideas. That's what we did in beta. We did not use, again, the Sonya or Lily. I think that's given a incorrect assumption on how you're supposed to beat it, because when people were doing it that way, which is why I'm going to do it the proper way, actually fighting the fight and not cheesing the fight. And so people can better understand it, and then there'll be more options, because what happens if you don't have those characters? I think that's a little bit too limiting, and that pushes over into pay to win. And I don't want them to nerf that. It's just that we have to start showing the proper ways to actually do the fight. And I'm a content creator, so that's what I am actually supposed to be doing. So in order to actually prepare for that, if you guys remember, my advice to you guys was always stay in the 3s. And the reason for that is the 3s give you the best dedicated drops to actually build up your account. And the same thing goes for the next level. If you are doing the 4s, stay in the 4s, because that's where you're actually going to get the best drops. Like you can get all 3s right here. If you have it around 80% of the rate that you don't have to actually control anything, stay there, build up your accounts, get your 3 drops, get all the relative things that you actually need to do, because that is going to allow you to actually be able to take the hits that Inferno does. What's happening right now is people are going through and they're not staying in the Hell 4 and the Hell 3, if that's where you're at, to actually build up your accounts, to actually get double set bonuses, like get the 12 and get the 8. You're not gonna get the 6, because that's what happens when you get the Inferno, but you want to get the 12 and the 8, or you can get the 8 and the 8 if that's what you're going for, because that's all relative stats that you need to actually take hits. That's one side of the equation. The other side of the equation is over here with the red units. Now, the red shells. Now there's 4 of them in particular, and then obviously whichever one that you want to focus on, as far as if you can win in a expedited fashion. If you cannot win, then go to whatever the easiest one, which is probably going to be Nico Kanana. It's probably going to be Hell, because this is what I call the placeholders, the meta placeholders. That's the better word for it. And they're going to be things that you can put on all your characters, and you need to actually get them maxed. And it's extremely important, because that is your base stats that your gear that I previously mentioned is going to scale off of. So take like White Fang right here. White Fang is good universally for most DPS, and the slots right there help you get your matrixes and your set bonuses, and go after it. It has the momentum in here, it has keen eye, it has fury, it has harvest, speed if you want to go for more speed DPS type of thing, and you have the onslaught in here. Anybody that you're doing DPS in, if you can't handle the other red shells, you need to stay here and then make sure that you are starting to get a built one. Notice I'm saying built, not like level 20 or 30 or something like that, not even 40 and then you don't awaken it. It needs to be built. That is massive base stats that when you put the gear on, that is going to be like that's going to be your maximum potential for that character. And you want to do it one at a time, because if you sit up there and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get this one on, then everybody like level 20, level 10 or something like that, then you just have a whole bunch of characters that as soon as you go into Inferno, like Nico Nana gonna be like, you ain't geared, get out of here, and send you back to the lobby. Right. And if you're struggling with things like that, that is probably one of the things. Your base stats is probably not high, and then your multipliers, which is your modifiers on your gear, has nothing to modify because your base stats aren't high. And that goes for actually having your characters be like modules. Now, there's base stats on the modules right here. Let's see these right here. These are base stats right here. They add on, and then you have the multipliers over there, and the multipliers are actually on the gear pieces like that itself. So essentially what you want to actually have happen is you want your flat stat modifiers to be higher, so all of your base stat that you work in will actually start clapping things. You know, that's just kind of like how you want it to work out. I'm still working on Messiah, but I guess a better look would be right here, because I got his working out properly right there. So we got the 12 and we got the 8. Obviously I don't have the third one because I'm not Inferno to actually put that piece on. But you know, we got the crit rate looking nice right here. We got the crit damage going on, so forth. And then you head over into the shell, and then shell is awakening. Obviously I would definitely like to work on doing this more, but because I am making shells, it is super expensive. You see 30k right now. I only have 74k right now as far as the data. I reconfigure one time, half that's gone. So that's expensive. I don't suggest actually doing much of the passive stuff unless it's something ridiculous and it's not gonna help you. Like this is, it just happened to do this. I didn't do anything to this. This is just what it gave me, so I just left it for right now because that is just data that I don't have to actually spend trying to do that. You should do that at the end. I wouldn't do that in the beginning, especially if you have characters to build. Once you have characters, shells to build, and you start, like, I have to actually do Colossus next. I got Artisan or Tia to help protect her a little bit. Gigabyte, like right here. Artisan right here again. I have Codex and Magic on Freya, which is excuse me, extremely interesting. I may not keep it on her like this, but that is super interesting on Freya. We got White Fang right here. Crossroads still on him. Starlight Knight. And you see, like, going down the list, I am working on getting stuff up. But again, we have flat stats. All of this is helping out as far as, you know, getting your team able to take hits. You just need them to be able to take hits. This is very important for Inferno to actually do the fights properly with different units, because the main question I was getting yesterday, including people DMing me later on into the day, into the night, is, well, damn, am I just stuck? If I don't have Lily and Shadow Sonya, can I just not do this? And I had to explain to each person that this is where the game gear grind actually kicks in, where you can do it without them, but you just have to build your characters and counter the fight. You see it more so in Aurora. Aurora is because you can't cheese Aurora. You have to actually fight Aurora. And this is how in beta most of the fights look, including Terra Matan. And the same thing in Doki. You can't cheese Doki. You have to actually fight the fight. For whatever reason, they left Terra Matan like that. I'm pretty sure that in the future, that's not going to stay that way. So just have fun now with the Shadow Sonya Lily stuff. That's probably not going to stay there. Once they reach their patch cycle, you're probably safe now for like a month or so right now. But I don't see that staying that way, because that's an aberration compared to the rest of the game, the way that it actually works. What essentially needs to happen is, you see right here, this is let's go for example recent clears. So you do see let's just go in, let you guys see what I'm actually talking about. You have somebody who's going to be buffing. All right, so you got to save because you're going to get nuked right there. All right, so he's going to do that. We got the heal going on. You have the Freya coming in and helping with the buff, and then here, in comes the team. Sooner or later. And you just keep the cycle. Now this is actually like the normal way of look. And you see the reason why this team isn't getting clapped is because I'm pretty sure this person got good shells on. In fact, you can see all of them. They're probably all built. They probably have proper gear on to take the hit, and they have some sustain. This is necessarily how the game is supposed to be working. What's happening is that a lot of people are getting carried a lot in Inferno about with Lily and Shadow Sonya, and you see most of those fights, they're like dead by the end of it. It's like one character left majority of the time. And then when other people try to copy that and they're not actually built, they're getting frustrated because they're like, well, why can't I do it? What's going on? Like, and I'm explaining to you now how it initially works. Like, this is like perfect right now. I couldn't have picked a better fight to showcase it to you. The Ting is squishy though. Whoever this is, yo, the Ting needs some help, dog. You're probably gonna win, obviously, because they put the time up here. But actually, whenever he attacks, he's gonna he's gonna be fine because Freya is buff. But still, good sustain. Everybody's okay. The two healers. This is typically how things are gonna work. I'm pretty sure this is like a 2 or 3 minute fight. And the same thing like with Doki. You kind of work yourself through. You get some CC in Doki. You get Kazumi, you get like maybe Kraken or Mio or something like that. You have Freya out there. You can have Tiamat. You can have Val that actually come in. We'll show that in general. Like, I felt that all of this needs to be said because and dead. So how long was that fight? That was a 245, yeah, along those lines. And you see again, next person up, Sparky, counter in the fight. Blue units, me or Shakio is an underrated unit. That's what I'm saying. Completely underrated unit. Langao, of course, and then you have Zadia. Zadia is amazing in here because she's just going to keep ramping and keep nuking, and when you have her on Keen Eye Fury, she's great. She got the revelation going on to help out with the extra nuke. Amazing. And got like a freaking level 2 Doki in here, you gangster. Right here for the Hell 4. Then over here you got Miss T0, who's not T0, who I told y'all she was not T0. But I'm trolling, but not trolling at the same time. It's hilarious how Scion was right. That but she still is kind of good in here, right here, but definitely not a progression pick. The same way Lily really isn't. Both of them are end game picks. Lily though, it's like, get her in the beginning if you can to make her useful now, because she's useful now, because it's just not really being shown how to beat this stuff without her, which, like I said, I'm working on. I'm gonna show you how to beat it without her. Even if I get her, I'm not gonna use her for that exact reason, because it's basically handicapping everybody, because they're not actually learning how to beat the fight. Basically, that's literally how overtuned she is for the end game content. She's not overtuned in the beginning of the game. She's actually kind of trash in the beginning of the game, but for end game content with certain characters, she's completely overtuned. She's like, it's kind of the same thing like with Rosa. Like, they're god tier at the end. It's just in the beginning, it's not so great. Then you have a Freya, Ling, the Ting, Val, and again another Lily right here. All of this is sustain. A Viper. Viper is extremely good over here. So head over into Doki. Doki. All right. So 7 minutes. You went like crazy. You actually won. You were in that fight that long and still won. I want to look at it, but I don't want to wait 7 minutes. The reason why I'm saying that is because they probably stayed in wave 2 with that thing ramping. They probably put it to sleep though, because they got I kind of call it Kazen, but it's Kazuo. They got her sitting there. Yeah, I don't know how this won like that. That's weird. I'm gonna look at that on my own time. But going in, you see Zadia, everything else. Is this on recent clear? Yeah. She's amazing. Like, anybody telling you that she's not amazing, they capping. She's amazing. And you got Ramoka right here. Ramoka's still good in here. And Ramoka on Reparations all the way down probably. Oh. Account. That's still good too though. And then you have some sustain right here and some CC. Got a Rahu coming in right there. So you can get through a lot of this stuff. Now, interesting thing is I have to rebuild a few things and then I should be good to go. Obviously I didn't build her. Probably need to, but I should be fine without that because I literally get in Inferno, I get to like the last mob and he basically he chips me out basically. And like that sounds weird, it's using a fighting game term, but what ends up happening is I get everything down to him and then somebody dies, and that's like a downhill effect because he heals every time he kills somebody. So, and I've had him like be down to like 20% health and kill me 3 times in a row, and I'm like, bruh. So obviously I needed to CC him, so I might end up having it. I don't know who I'm gonna have to take out to actually do that, but I'll figure it out and then I'll show you guys. I don't want to keep showing you a failed thing. I want to show it succeed and then me get it stable, and then I'll show you. And I'll be autoing that, by the way. Same thing with Aurora. I can almost beat Aurora too autoed. It's just that I get worn down by the end with Aurora, and then it's kind of like the same thing. I don't think I showed any of Inferno Aurora. It's the same type of thing. You see, like literally this person right here, 12 minutes is a bit much, but they had the same idea I had. This is literally the same idea minus the Lily. The same idea I had. You can literally get through it like that. Like T is amazing in Inferno over here, and I'm definitely going to show it because I can almost do it myself. Now I have to build up my Viper better though. My Viper is like ass, so that's what's holding this back right now. Once I get him up to like the max gear I want with the max speed gear, because I don't have any speed gear for him because I need a certain type of speed gear for him. And essentially what you could do to kind of like help yourself out, Mia is god tier in here because Mia will get rid of the debuff on you a whole lot easier, and it's amazing. Or you can just basically heal through it. So in this spot, I forgot who I put here, but in this spot you can, if you want to, you can have 3 healers and just let Viper and Tiamat cleave through all of the ads, and you're like 100% safe with Val and Ling, and then even like a 3rd healer, like you see like over here, like with this one, you see a bunch of people actually doing that. They went completely safe, and you see that the Viper is all the way through, but Viper Gaming coming through, and then another Tia and things like this. This is to give you ideas. If you don't have, particular units that you can actually put out there. This person actually got the Holden going down too, and then got Rosa coming in there like this. So it's possible, but and then this person on 3 healers, bam. There's no way that he 4 minutes, no way he died. No way. Yep. Oh, he got the all the way max gear. That's why he did that. Yeah, you using set pieces. This don't count. He got 3 set bonus. Grandy don't count. But yeah, so hopefully you kind of like get it. So what you're essentially wanting to do is you want to sit in hell, or you want to sit in hell or hell 4 or hell 3. For the most part, get yourself to those 3 set bonuses. I mean, to the 12 set bonus and the 8 set bonus. Make sure that your gear is tuned because it will necessarily be easier to actually do that. You have the event coming up, the double event coming up, that should help out with some of this, not everything, but some of it. Same thing over here. If you have any 3 or 4, ride it. That sounds bad. Pause. But you get what I mean. And then start taking this on. You'll be able to auto these. Trust me, I've done it before. You will be able to auto these, but you are not going to be able to auto it with the way the cheese strat. That's what I call it. The Lily and, like, you know, Shadow Sonya stuff. You're not going to be able to do it with that. That's a manual strat right there. But you will be able, you know, to come out here and do this type of stuff right here, and just come in, like, properly counter the fight, have the CC, and, you know, do the things that are going to be useful to actually get the content up out of here. So that is all I got for you guys. Be legendary. Hopefully this will help you out, get you through this content, so you're not struggling on anything. And yeah, so matter of fact, let's just summon. We gotta end it. I know this was super talky, but I wanted to explain this properly, so people don't end up stuck here and just slamming their head against the wall because they don't have certain characters. You can work your way around it, you know, kind of like look at these fights and see what people are doing without those characters, because you're gonna see clears without those characters, and that's kind of like how the game was intended to be played, because again, in beta, nobody used Lily and Shadow Sonya to beat this content. Terra Matan was basically Heinrich and Veronica, like exclusively Heinrich and Veronica, and then you burst down because he is stripped and everything else. Doki was Ramoka, Kazuo, and, you know, getting your green units out, whatever you can. Like, it would be like Kraken, it would be Obel, and the same thing over in Aurora. Aurora was essentially, you know, basically burst down with Rosa and getting Viper in and stuff like that. All that is actually starting to iron out and look properly the way that it is. So, you know, we'll see. Hopefully you guys will get some use out of this and start getting some ideas, so you understand and you're not, like, locked out because you don't have certain characters. Oh, I got freebies. I forgot about that. Let's use them. Gangsta Andrew. I don't think I've ever got anything from the singles. Just be there. All right. Ticket time. All right. I think I have everything basically now SR. So, okay. And then summon shop. Got enough of these. Bam. How many of these I got? 2? Yeah, I can make another 6-star if I want. But so to end the video, what I want to do is, we're at the end now, and we have our day 14. Bam. And we got our Latisse, which is perfect. And we also have this, which I am gonna head over here. This is interesting. So let's see what we get. Who could be the probability in here? Is it everybody? Oh, it actually is. It can actually be everybody. Well, that's interesting. Give me Veronica. Yo, give me Veronica. Let's see. Oh. Well, that works too. Damn, now I got a 6-star. Be legendary. Thank you for watching the video all the way to the end. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I love everybody who stops by. You guys always make my day with your comments. It's always funny and whimsical and gives me a reason to keep going. So be legendary, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.